So, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Catherine Wygant Fawcett, the Executive Director of the Institute for Family-Owned Business, otherwise known as IFOB. We have Andrea Parker Michaud, our Marketing and Sales Coordinator, on with us too. She's in sunny Florida. Well, most of us, I think, are in snowy Maine. Welcome. We're so excited to have you join us on the Zoom call, and we want to thank our sponsors, OSC Web Design and Masthead Maine, for making this all possible. We've muted everyone, and some are turning on or off their videos so we can focus on the presentation. We'll be recording this program for later viewing, and then we'll send you a follow-up email with the slides and some program resources for you. We want to make this an interactive program, so please send us your questions in the chat feature, and then we'll cover them in the Q&A at the end. As many of you know, the IFOB is a nonprofit that helps family businesses succeed as they fuel the local economy. We're offering over 50 programs this year, both online, in-person, and hybrid. Many of our educational programs will be hybrid in-person at Barry Dunn at 2211 Congress Street in Portland and on Zoom. We also have many fun social events like our Women's Wine and Nine, our 9-hole golf scramble, the Family Fun Festival, and our Maine Family Business Awards. We're doing a complete overhaul of our website and are really close to announcing its launch, and that we'll have that details of all of that on our website. So our programs are for all of your employees, so please invite them as well to join us, and anyone else you think might benefit from them. Even if they're not members, we have them open to everyone. Today, we're kicking off our educational programs with looking to new ways of marketing your business in 2023. Our speaker is Jesse Fowler, who we have here. He's the owner of OSC Web Design. And our family business panelist is Marie Stewart, General Manager of Lisa Marie's Made in Maine and one of our finalists from the Maine Family Business Awards last year. You have your hand up. we good? So we'll hear firsthand best practices and real life experiences for website marketing and more. And our next program is in 3 weeks, and that kicks off our how-to series, and that will be in person and Zoom at Barry Dunn. So please join us Thursday, March 23rd, 8 to 10 a.m. on how-tos on recruitment and retention. The speakers will be Tani Alvarez, a partner in Vero, Mary O'Neill from Workforce Development Director from the Retail Association of Maine, and Roger Diffin, the General Manager of L.L. Bean Flagship Store, and Danielle Hinson, the Chief Executive Officer of P&A Bookkeeping and Business Services. Towards the end of this program, we'll ask you to please fill out a quick survey, which I'll put in the chat. Your feedback is so important to us and helps us develop and curate our programs this year. I will now toss it over to you, Jesse. Thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Catherine. Hey, everyone. I am Jesse, OSC Web Design, and I'm going to be speaking today with Marie. So just real quickly, I am the owner / translator of OSC Web Design. We're here in Scarborough. We have clients all over the country, Alaska, Hawaii, a lot here in Maine. And we work with companies from 1 employee up through 500. And our main focus is giving them a website and then helping them define their demographics and their marketing and helping push that forward. Just real quickly, if you have questions, please throw it in the chat. I don't want to get distracted and go down a rabbit hole. So to save you being here all day, throw it in the chat and I'll probably circle back to it at the end. But real quickly, this is my family. And I'm going to introduce now Marie from Lisa Marie's Made in Maine.
Hi, everybody. My name's Marie. I am the daughter of Lisa Marie of Lisa Marie's Made in Maine. As you can see, those are my parents here in front of our Portland storefront here on Exchange Street, which is where I am right now. You may have just seen a customer come in. I am multitasking because that is what a lot of family businesses do. My mom started Lisa Marie's in 1990, shortly after we moved back to Maine. In 2003, my dad inspired her to open up a storefront in Bath, Maine. Since then, we've expanded 4 times on Front Street in Bath. And after I graduated from college in 2009, we opened up our Portland storefront here in 2010 on Exchange Street. Yeah, and as we've grown, realizing that to keep up with the marketing of the world, we had to have an e-commerce website. And as we've grown, we've learned lots of things about what was working for marketing previously and how we can try to keep adapting to the changes. And Jesse has been really, really helpful to keep us in line and all of that.
Awesome. So thanks, Marie. And we will obviously be going back and forth a little bit. But real quick, shout out that you were Retailer of the Year 2021, which is awesome. So I want to start out with, and I'd like to hear your thoughts. Throw it in the chat if you don't mind. I know I won't be answering questions right away, but I want to hear what your thoughts on what marketing is. Maybe you have a quick definition, or maybe it means something different to you. So what is the word marketing, and what does that mean? And I'll let a few of you throw some things in the chat before I go through the Google definition of it.
I'm unmuted, so I'm just going to throw out self-promotion, which is really hard for some people.
Absolutely. All right. Letting people know what you do. Anyone else? All right. Lead generation, like it, telling a story. I like it, Nina. So brand building, brand awareness. Awesome. Love it. So I'll go into the Google definition, which is the activity or business of promoting and selling products or services, including market research and advertising. So a few of those dead on, right? Brand building, brand awareness, promoting. I like to go in a little different direction. I think it's about connecting with your customers on more of an emotional level, showing them that you're able to provide the solutions to their problems. And most importantly, you're convincing them that you're the right person or company to make their lives a little more enjoyable and a little easier. And that'll make sense. I have a big push on the emotional connection. I think that's really important in how we define our market. So I'm going to start off kind of going through memory lane, not really our memories here, but I'm going to start over the last century. So back in 1900s, and look at what they did. So in early 1900s rather, they had the newspaper boy on the corner with sensational headlines, Titanic sunk, or the stock market crash, all these types of things that got you to buy it. They were really reaching out broadly. So they were trying to, target everyone. And then magazines came out and they started segmenting down who wanted to learn more about their hobbies or their fishing and what have you. So magazines became a big part of their next marketing ploys. Then we move ahead to, I'm skipping around a lot, but the 1950s, which is the quote unquote golden era of marketing. And what I found, at least, is there was a lot of sexism. And I know that doesn't sound right for a talk, but it's something that we want to look at and learn from. So these are a few of the ads that were around then. And I can't believe looking at this, that this was a thing. In the 50s, is all about what the woman could do. And they just had, there were, the baby boom. So it was about staying thin. And this is where we see that apples are not as nutritious as sugar, which I think the can of Monster energy drink, that could be their new brand. We're more healthy than a bushel of apples. Then later on, we learned more about segmentation, about personalization. And Coke came out with this campaign is 2013, and they started putting names on here. And really, it's how do we get more people to try Coke, right? Everyone's tried it, it's everywhere. But how do we make it more personal to someone? So they started putting names everywhere. You'd go and buy your own, or maybe you saw someone with a, an interesting name that, you don't normally see, like when you go buy the license plates for your kids. So they were able to target more people this way, and it became a thing, share with your friends. So you're able to connect and you're able to almost upsell, right? So we see the large companies doing that. And I think we need to, learn from our past. So we take a lot of those things into consideration, and then we are able to obviously plan for the future. So let's talk a little bit about how we would recommend going forward. And again, these are very high level things, so we can get more into it. But some things we recommend are building the personas, which I will get into in just a moment. Getting personal, which is part of the personas, but it's finding out what your people, your demographics like to do, where they spend their time. Researching your competition. What are they doing? Because chances are, if they're bigger, they've already done this type of research. So what can we take from them? I think of Burger King and McDonald's. I'm not sure if you know, or have seen it. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it, but McDonald's pops up and then right next door, Burger King pops up. It just saved them millions of dollars on market research on where they should put their location, right? So we're going to take that, and then we want to game plan and create that plan moving forward so we can figure out what we want to do. This is a persona that the team at Lisa Marie's and I have put together, and this is based on really the people who come into the store, that Marie and the team there see all the time. Each company can have multiple personas, so don't feel that this is the only type of person that comes in there, but it's going to really help us shape who we want to market to. So this person we called Martha, and it's a great stock photo of a Martha. She's female, 45 to 65, married, has kids, grandkids. She's looking for something unique, which Lisa Marie's has, and probably presents for people who have moved away from Maine or want that piece of Maine, right? So then where can we find Martha? Maybe brunch with friends, country clubs, local craft shows. She's comfortable using technology, which is always a plus. Probably on Facebook, follows local brands, leaving reviews. So these are a bunch of different pieces or aspects to Martha, and we can use this to then market to her because we know that she's going to be on Facebook. We know that she's going to probably leave a review as long as we take care of her. And she's looking for something unique, which helps us define the messaging that we want to use to reach Martha through email campaigns or through posts, blog posts, etc. So how do others and how do we reach these customers? I think, again, to do this, I'd like to show very large corporations and then see what we can take from that. So this is the Starbucks Rewards app, something I swore I would never have, something I have, and we use all the time. In fact, 2/3 of people that go to Starbucks have this app. So if you guys are going to Starbucks, probably you have this app. It's a great loyalty app, but what kind of information is Starbucks gathering from this, and what can they do with it? They might know that you show up at Starbucks every morning at 9 a.m. And if it's 9:30 and you haven't purchased, maybe we send you a notification. Why don't you come in and get that cafe latte, or whatever it is you missed, or you usually buy this product with this and this. So we can push those advertisements to them, and then of course the loyalty of coming in again and again, getting those points to get a free coffee or a free gift. This app has worked incredibly well for Starbucks. In fact, those with the app are two times more likely to be in multiple times per week. And this one is staggering to me. They're 10 times more likely to purchase multiple times per day, which I think we would all love someone spending $7 per coffee multiple times a day if it was our business. So they gather a ton of information, and I'm going to look at one more, Target. You may or may not have heard that Target sells a lot of baby stuff, and they are into stats. They collect a lot of data. They went out and hired a statistician. His name was Poole, and Poole figured out that if you buy these 25 items, you are more likely to have a baby. And this came to fruition when this gentleman walked into Target and said, "Why are you advertising baby products to my teenage daughter? Are you assuming she's pregnant? Whatever." And the manager there apologized. And then a few days later, he called that dad and apologized again. And the dad said, "Actually, some things have been going on. We found out she is indeed pregnant." So Target knew about this before the grandfather knew about it. And it's just kind of creepy that this kind of information we're able to use to market appropriately, or, you'll probably be going to Target for the baby diapers. So what do we take from this? We take that Big Brother is watching you. This is the Zuckerberg, of course. Facebook is collecting all sorts of data. They know when you got married, when you're on vacation. They know everything about you. So the question is, do we back away from it, or do we lean into it and find out how we can use some of this data? Of course, we aren't these billion-dollar companies, or I doubt any of us here are those billion-dollar companies. So what can we do to kind of duplicate that same sort of marketing effort? Again, we're going to start with the building of the personas. That part is really important to help us define where our demographics are and what we're going to do to market. Setting up Google Analytics is incredibly important because we need to gain that information to know how to market to them, which ones are working, which is not, UTM codes, so you track out which email is working, which social post is working. And just as a quick aside, Google Analytics 4 is coming out. You have to move over by June or else you're going to start losing data. So just make sure you talk to the person responsible for that and make that update. And one more thing that I wasn't able to include in this, but heat mapping is really big. I have a client who they were having some issues with people checking out and we weren't able to figure it out. So what we did is put heat mapping on. And heat mapping literally records the person, where they're putting their mouse, what they click on. And with that data, we're able to figure out that actually it had nothing to do with the website. It was Stripe that was being slow. And we're able to adjust that, update the APIs, et cetera, and take care of it and then see it working. So heat mapping is also some great information. And then with all of this, we're able to target and advertise those people appropriately, find out what marketing works, what doesn't, and so on and so forth. So when we get to customization, we want to look at emails. That's a huge piece. So on the left, we have Lisa Marie's emails. These ones could be based on someone purchasing jewelry in the past, and then you can segment those out so we can look at what they've purchased in the past and then define those emails moving forward, or price range or what have you, the loyal customers. So figuring out how to segment your customers that have already purchased from you online, if you're a retail location, that's a great way to go. On the right is actually an app that we built for a company up in Alaska. It's a website and app, and they needed to have everyone have their own pricing. And not only was it their own pricing, but their own MSRP to make sure that they keep the same profit margin across the board as to what they're looking for. So next, probably get into what is the catch? What is the trend? And I wanted to look back through time, find out what kind of things were trendy. This first one is more of a story. It's, well, Coca-Cola again, of course, right? They wanted to find out what set themselves apart. They were sick of having a bottle that looked just like RC Cola or all the other soft drinks out there. So in 1915, they decided to have a prize that for $500, which is $12,000 in today's money, or like 3 dozen eggs and a tank of gas. And they said that we want this to be a bottle that you can recognize if it's on the ground or even if it's smashed. And this company came up with it, and they won their $500. And you can tell just by looking at it, if you look at that brown bottle, that looks like any beer bottle or anything that you get today. And then the 1915 is clearly the Coke bottle. So they were able to set themselves apart through this. So that's actually one of their catches, right? This is the 1970s. And I wanted to kind of redeem the 1950s, where it was very, well, you saw the ads. And this was almost saying the exact opposite of liberating and empowering women. And they came up with much more female positive ads. And that was the new trend, the new marketing avenue. In the 1990s, which is my era of enjoying technology, I guess, I started with Windows 3.0. If anyone remembers that, you had to load it in DOS. But Windows came out and it was about personal freedom. It was about the ability to now, you didn't have to go to somewhere to get this information. And on the right, we obviously had cell phones, Clueless, Marie's, one of her favorite movies, also my wife's. So it was about cell phones and that ability to finally connect with people really easily. And this next one is simply something that I want to see if anyone remembered this. This was kind of like their tagline. They'd send things out to you. It said, get 500 hours free or get 100 hours free or something like that. And that was AOL. They were giving away the internet. That was their tagline, because obviously no one had internet before, right? So they'd have to mail these out, and then you would get that and be able to finally get online. So that will bring us over to Lisa Marie's. So Marie, or the whole team at Lisa Marie's, what is their niche, I guess? And I think it's perfect for this group. It's a family-owned business. They have been around for a while, as Marie will talk about, and they've gone through different marketing strategies. So Marie, if you are unmuted.
I am unmuted. I tried to prepare myself. And yes, Clueless was when my infatuation with Paul Rudd began, if anybody else is as big a fan of Clueless as me. This is my family. In the middle there, that's my parents. To the left in the image is my brother and his wife. And we've just welcomed our newest member of the family business. He is not quite old enough to work yet at the age of 4 days. And that's my husband and I on the edge there. And we support over 400 other small businesses throughout the state. A lot of them are also family-owned businesses. We opened our storefront in Bath in 2003, and it was truly just like my mom has the strongest gut instinct for things. And with my dad's encouragement, she opened the storefront, but we didn't know anything about marketing or how to promote a business. She just knew how to run a business. And so our advertising really did begin with the local newspaper representatives coming into the store being like, I have this much space. Would you like to buy an ad? And, not really knowing any better, that's sort of exclusively how our marketing existed when we began. And then, as I started studying more in college and learning more about communications and how effective I can be at that, after graduating in 2009, I was working in our Bath location, which had expanded at that point, and Facebook became like a thing. And that was so weird to have pages. I don't know if anybody remembers pages on Facebook, but I realized like Lisa Marie's Made in Maine, other businesses are having they have a presence on Facebook. All my friends are on Facebook. I guess Lisa Marie's Made in Maine should have a Facebook page. And I think that was the beginning of a bit of a generational difference between my mom and I. My mom was not on Facebook at the time. She knew that I, as her kid, had Facebook, but and so that was sort of the beginning of Lisa Marie and I having conversations about how marketing has changed, and we need to, be able to keep up with things as things develop, and how the internet is just a wonderful resource, and social media was kind of a free form of advertising, and so there was a sort of a generational divide there at first. I didn't really understand newspapers. I've never picked up a newspaper unless I was in it for some reason. I've never purchased a newspaper. So why would I put advertising in a newspaper? My mom, not on Facebook. Why would I ever try to put Lisa Marie's Made in Maine on Facebook? And so we sort of just kind of came to the conclusion sort of together. I think she recognized, newspapers, unless it's a very specific segmented location of people, when we're going for something specific, it's not, people are on their phones, people are on their computers, and that's where a lot of our marketing dollars go towards now. We were doing a lot of magazines at the time. That is our first website, or something that looked sort of like it. As you can see, that is our first storefront. We didn't even have awnings there. It was probably 2009 maybe when we realized we needed to have a website. This was a static page, basically. It showed that we have locations, and it had some, hello, I'm at work, and it had information about how to find us and get to us, but there was no way you could purchase anything on the website directly through there, at which point all of the internet savviness that I guess I'm claiming to have came into play. Hi, mailman. And we realized we needed to have a website that implemented an e-commerce aspect as well. And so this was one of the second websites that we had. This is about when Jesse came into play, because this is when we also recognized with having an e-commerce website, shipping is a whole thing, and being able to ship unique products all over the country. And one of the other little fun things about Lisa Marie's Made in Maine is that almost all of our products are unique. So when I put something on the website, it's usually only one is available. There's only going to be one of that kind of mug. And so that was something that we were trying to learn to adapt with. And with all of these changes, we are learning and we are growing. And one of the big issues with this website was the lack of ability to be the shipping. And the shipping wasn't communicating with the website directly. So then came Jessie, thank God. And Jessie helped problem solve so much for us and helped our website be able to do so much more by itself. And with that, he's helped me figure out how to integrate more social media through the website. One of the things that's most exciting to me, and I only learned it over like the past couple of weeks, the way that is it a Google Pixel? Jessie, is that what it is?
The Facebook Pixels is what we're doing with that.
Facebook Pixel is integrated on our website so that when I add a new product to the website now, people who follow Lisa Marie's Made in Maine, they'll see that new product show up in their Facebook feed, which is a whole aspect of marketing that I never even realized I could do. And here I am trying to keep up with the times. What am I missing here, Jessie?
I just want to point out how when you learn from your demographics of what's important to them, it was about talking about being Maine made, Maine artists, and making sure that the search function was easy to find and getting through that.
Yeah, that was, and so as you can, this is one of our first storefronts in Bath. It kind of looks like what our original Facebook or original website looked like. And then as we've grown and as we've learned, we wanted our storefronts and our website to have a similar feeling. Something that was really important to Lisa Marie and I is that when you walk into the store, like these fine folks just did, they will often find one of our family members in here, and you get that personal attention and you get that personal feel when you come into the store. And so we really wanted to be able to convey that on the website. I love this little page that Jessie has created for us. That "We're Open" sign on the bottom left there, that sign is literally in front of both of our locations. So the website really does reflect the personal feeling that you get when you physically come into the stores. That's in the First Maine flag shirts. That's my brother and my sister-in-law, and the black and white pictures, my parents and I. And we are so invested in making sure that people have a wonderful experience in here, that was one of the biggest things that we were afraid we were going to lose when you get to an online presence where there's no person there to greet you. But Jessie's helped us figure out lots of ways to make the website feel really personal. There's a way on every single product page, if you have a question about it, you can click a button and it sends me an email. And then I can get back to you being like, hey, I saw you were interested in this product. What can I answer? And these are all things that I had no idea we could even do. And it's just sort of trying to keep up with all of this technology. And I got to admit, I'm only one person, and my parents are so invested in trying to keep the whole business at large running that a lot of this we're just kind of learning as we go. We are flying by the seat of our pants. I would love to tell you that I have a whole marketing plan for a whole year, but that's kind of an unrealistic thing for a small business like ours. Things are changing as the year happens, and so I try to be gentle with myself when it comes to, like, if I have a big plan and I have all of these goals, things are going to come up. I'm here in the shop today because one of our employees is out for a family emergency, and she's been out for a couple of weeks now. But that's what we do. And, so some things got, sidelined because I had to be here in the store. And it's just you do everything you can and be gentle with yourself, because you can only do so much. And sometimes things don't always work out exactly the way that you planned. But if you just keep trying and keep learning. Like I said, I completely stumbled into the fact that my products were uploading on the Facebook newsfeed until I was targeted with my own products, which was a cool surprise, and a thing that I'm excited to learn more about with the help of Jessie.
Well, and I think, Marie, what you talked about was, or you hit on, which is important, is the incremental changes over time. It was, when we met, it was, okay, we have efficiency issues of figuring out the shipping aspects and things like that. But then over time, it was, convincing Lisa Marie to take that big step of going online, or we need more products online, and how are we going to handle that, as well as looking at your marketing and deciding we need to define these demographics so we can reach out to them. Email marketing has become a very big piece of how you market to people now.
Yeah.
And then social media. So it's really shifted a lot that I've seen the past 6-7 years. And it's going to continue to shift over time. So
I think that's one of the things that I'm trying to remember to be gentle with myself about that, is like, I get so frustrated. Facebook seems like it's changing all the time, and we can only do so much. We can only keep up with it as best that we can. And I'm just going to keep going, because there's always going to be something new to research and discover and utilize.
So that couldn't have been a better segue. I was wondering how we're going to end that and move on, but there's things always changing. So what is the next big thing? Great job, Marie. Thanks.
No problem.
And I think this is probably where people are going to be most interested. What is the next big thing? And I think it reminds me of, was it 1984 when the Terminator came back and said, I'll be back. It's AI. He was artificial intelligence. And that is what is coming today and has been on its way. We've already used it. You're using it probably on your website currently, and you may not even know it. So here's some simple ways to look at it. On the Lisa Marie's website, when you buy a certain product, it's going to recommend products. I mean, and this is a very, very basic AI use case, right? But it is deciding what you're purchasing and what might go well with it. And you can continue to build this algorithm to help increase the purchase price or the order price. I think this one is the most interesting to me. Augmented reality. I think there's a lot of use cases, and this is where you want to look into your business and find out, is this something that we can do? So I was just the other day, because I bought some horrible doors when I redid my house, I went onto the Andersen website and I was just looking at French doors and what I could replace it with. And it said, check out what this would look like in your room. Click that button. Bam, a door appears in my room, virtually, obviously, and I can see what it would look like, and I can walk up to it and kind of see what it's like close up. And it was really neat. And I think a lot of things are going to head that way. So if you're in, there's a lot of service industries, what would the building, the contracting, the clothing, I think has a lot of room for improvements there. What would this shirt look like on me? So I don't need to come into the store. Glasses, people are already doing it with sunglasses and with regular glasses. That way you don't have to get them shipped to you. You don't have to go into the store to try on 100 pairs. You can kind of get a quick idea of what to do there. So this, I think there's a lot of excitement here, and it can hit a lot of industries. And then, of course, what is ChatGPT? That's the big name that's been going around lately for the last 6 months. So I asked ChatGPT, what are you? And it gives you a great explanation, but essentially it's to help you answer questions. So it's collecting data, giving you an answer, but in a way that sounds like you're talking to someone. And that's really boiled down what it is. And so I said, I asked ChatGPT, what are ways businesses are using you? And I won't read all that, but it really shows that it's going to be, that ChatGPT is wordy. It likes talking. So it gives you a lot of information, which is great. I see a huge opportunity for it today, as well as into the future. Right now, we can use this for e-commerce shops to help answer shipment questions, to help with the customer service aspects, but then also with a company that may have just lots of information, thousands of pages of content, say like a union or a learning center. If they have lots of content that can be dissected, instead of the current process, which is I search in a search bar and I go and find the 5 posts that are most likely to give me the answer, and then I have to search through that, why not just give the person the answer? So it's going to help with that process quite a bit. Of course, we're trying to figure out how that's going to work with search engines and search traffic and things like that. So we'll see these applications kind of change over time. I think it's an exciting start to it. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. Then, of course, designing. So design-wise and the website-wise, we want to make sure we're designing for all devices. This has been true for probably 10 years now, but it's more and more so the case every year, making sure your site is really built mobile first. So your website should be able to load on a mobile device very quickly, easily let them navigate through, because more than 50% of users are using cell phones now. So whether it be just purchasing or browsing or doing anything, and this is also a great opportunity for heat mapping, of finding out where people are scrolling to on your page, how far down they're going. Is there anything we can do to improve this process? So make sure your site is designed for mobile, and look through the core vitals, which is something from Google, and it can tell you what's there and what you need to do.
I can chime in real quick, Jesse, just on that. Being able to use your phone effectively. There's been countless amount of times where I've been in the store with a customer and they are not ready to commit to buying the item in that moment. I will pull up the item on our shop cell phone and they will have me text them a link to it. And it's really, really important to me that when they get that link, it looks as good as it did in the store. And that is something that has proven effective here in the store. I'll have people go home, and then they have the item shipped to them so they didn't have to fly back with it. And so it's just like I caught that person here live in the moment, but the sale is happening later because they know the website will work and they got it on their phone.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like hearing cases like that.
Yeah.
And then also showing social proof of, that people, right now, people are trusting online reviews more than ever. Because there's a lot of verification now. Now, obviously, if it's on the website, it's so-so, but when you're seeing a lot of Google, Yelp, other reviews, for Lisa Marie's in particular, it posed a problem because every product is unique. So it's a matter of how do we show this in a way, because it's important. So for Lisa Marie's in particular, we were able to take it to the category level, leave the reviews there so that we can still capture that information. And then you can use that on social media, showing, the reviews. And I think that's incredibly important. That's going to get people to trust you. But adding that right, even at the top of the page is pretty darn important, if possible. The video gets me every time. There we go. So just a couple things to be aware of, and then we're about done. So ADA compliance is something that all retail shops especially need to be aware of. ADA compliance is something that's been around forever, but applying to the website is fairly new. It's mostly for people that need screen readers to help you get through the website. Lawsuits can be very big and there's not much you can do on it, although you can definitely try. So it's best to just try to build your website ADA compliant ahead of time. Know those little, wheelchair symbols in the corner don't necessarily make your website ADA compliant, despite what they tell you. So that might be just something I can provide a resource where you can go just check your website, see how that's doing. And then minimalist design is still a thing. It's just making sure your website is easy to navigate, easy to get through. That's always important, kind of going along with the mobile as well. So just to recap, because I kind of touched on a lot of high level things. I see a couple questions, which is awesome. Marketing, in terms of marketing, build your personas, segment out. The more you can segment out, the better your marketing can be. It's just that it takes a lot of time. And then figuring out what platforms make the most sense for your personas. I think someone mentioned something about that, so we'll go into that. And then with website design, let's see how we can utilize AI to your benefit. That is the next thing that is here now. Designed for all devices, social proof, ADA compliance, and the minimalism. So for the most part, other than questions, that's what I have for you today. So Catherine, I will ask if you would like me to go through any particular questions now, or?
Yeah, I think we have 3 questions in the chat. And then
all right,
we can open it up for people to come on video and ask questions too.
That would be great, because it's really weird not seeing anyone.
Yeah.
So I'll just go to the first one because I like this one a lot. So Horch Roofing is in here. How would email marketing apply to a company like Horch Roofing? We continuously need to target new clients. Our clients typically come around once in 18 to 20 years. And that's right. That's if you're doing it right, they're not going to show up too often, right? So there's a couple things I would suggest here. And the email marketing aspect is more about the leading up to the purchase. So people are, I'm guessing you're going to have a couple personas. One is people whose roof is leaking currently, and another who will need to replace the roof at some point in time. So I would use this as a lead generation, as building blog posts and then starting the carrot, saying, maybe your white paper is 5 reasons you need to hire a professional, or 5 different roofing materials you didn't know about. You capture their email address, you start slowly email marketing to them. And what's happening is over the course of several months or even years until they're ready to purchase, you're showing them that you care, you're providing information, and you're branding yourself. So when they're ready to purchase, they're going to reach out to you before any other roofing company. So that would be my suggestion, is more on the preliminary before they purchase rather than the post-purchase.
Thank you.
Yeah. Can you talk more about business-to-business applications? Seems to be much more difficult to connect with customers via social media. Yes. However, we have a branch of our company, for example, that integrates with other websites like Lisa Marie's to do warehousing and fulfillment. Amy Volk. Okay, so I'm guessing Volk Packaging is what you're in reference to. So LinkedIn is going to be the best way to connect B2B in terms of social platforms. Unfortunately, it's a lot more difficult to connect because it's all about the business relationships, right? So I'm big on blog posts, and I think that there's a lot that can be done there because you're answering questions before people ask them. So if you are able to put blog posts together and then send them out there through LinkedIn, you're providing information. But then when you're asked that, you can say, actually, we just answered that very question on our blog. Can I send that over to you? You're connecting in another way. You're staying valuable to that person. I would, if you're going to do any social media, like especially for your company, other than LinkedIn, maybe Facebook to showcase your customers that allow you, showcase testimonials, things like that, and then push the blog posts out that way. But you don't expect a huge return on the Facebook and things like that. I would see more on the LinkedIn and email side of things. What about businesses that have a service as their product? Cassie, do you mind me asking?
Cassie, that's you. You are the service.
Yeah. Is there a certain service that you in particular are looking for? I don't know that. In real estate. Real estate. So this is actually one I love. I've talked to a lot of real estate agents, and here's the thing with real estate companies. A lot of them already have IDX feeds, and it's expensive to implement. How do we reach customers? And I think the way you separate yourself apart as a real estate agent is to show how you are a guru or all knowledgeable in your area. So if you are a Portland, Maine real estate agent, yes, I'm going back to blog posts. I would be putting out a ton of content about things that are really important for people to know in Portland. So 5 restaurants you didn't know about. This is the event coming up. You're making yourself valuable to people in that area. So when they look, they already know that you know everything about this area. So real estate agents in a lot of service industries, it's really about showing that you are the most active, most knowledgeable person out there. And we're actually doing a real estate site for someone who moved to Hawaii recently. And that's exactly what we're doing, is we're not even tying in the real estate for sale piece because he has that through Keller Williams, I think. And we are just building him this blog so he can talk about all the different neighborhoods. So that would be my recommendation there. There's lots of people out, as Andrea, who outsource blogging. Yes, we do that.
Just a comment because people were asking about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, we do that as well. So if there's any question around that, we can definitely. Now, how impactful do you see the use of video testimonials and building relationships with target? Huge. Absolutely. I think that's awesome. Video has become the next, way of going. That's where we're headed. Video is great. The great thing about video is we no longer have to only have professional videos. People don't get scared off by iPhone videos. Now, that doesn't mean there's not a time and a place for professional video. There is. But when you're talking about testimonials,
it's hard to get over that.
It must be Marie. When you're talking about testimonials, it could be them sitting in front of their computer. It could be, it depends on your market, really. So I'm not sure what you do, but if it's a high dollar amount, you may want to have it a little more professionally done, maybe a back and forth. But video testimonials are a great way to go, and utilize them everywhere you possibly can. LinkedIn, all the social channels, Facebook, Instagram, on your website. Build case studies if you can, right? So what did that person get, and how did it help them? Can you build another blog post or a case study around them? I think those are great opportunities.
That's definitely something that I've learned over the past even 2 years, is how much more interaction we get on social media when it's a video versus a photo. And something that Catherine urged me to share from our last time together was that I do almost everything that you see on the website in terms of photos and whatnot on my phone, on this little sucker right here. And Apple should really, really sponsor me, because I do so much on this phone that and when it comes to like the social media stories, just like Jesse just mentioned, like nobody needs something super high quality there. Those are moments in the life. But there definitely is a time and a place for some professional photography as well. But don't be afraid of it. This can do so much.
It can do a lot, yeah. And depending on where you're using it, yeah, I support being able to do that on your own, especially through social media. But then there is a time and place for professional photos, professional video. Absolutely, we use both of those. And Marie's getting a selfie for social media right now. All right, thank you all for those questions. I appreciate it. Not sure if we have anything else. You're on mute, Catherine, so.
You'd think for all these years we'd know that, right?
Yeah, I know, yes.
So you're all welcome to come on video if you want and have a discussion or something. We have a few more minutes. In a few minutes, we'll also put our survey in the chat feature, because we'd love your feedback on this program as well.
Yeah. I guess I'll throw out there, if anyone wants or has more specific questions, like I said, I can tangent on forever about certain things. So I know this is very high level, but if there are other things you'd like to know about, please don't hesitate to reach out. Doesn't mean we have to do business together. I can just kind of share some information. And we have over 220 blog posts on our website. So chances are we've written a blog post about it. So we're practicing what we preach and send that out there.
I can personally testify to how wonderful Jesse is to work with. I am a kind of a manic person when it comes to these things sometimes. And he's been very calm and helpful, and pretty much always tells me exactly what I need to hear and what I need to do, even if it's what I didn't want to do, but I do it anyway. I blog a lot more than I used to.
Lots of blogging, lots of email campaigns. Yes.
Yes, we're doing it. I'm doing it.
And it's returning an investment. So
it is. It is. Yes.
Awesome.
So I just put the survey link in the chat for people. We did have another question that came in. How often do we need to update our website?
So that is relative. A lot of people, I think it should be an ongoing thing all the time. The typical lifespan of a website is about 2 to 3 years. So we actually have packages where we design one website now, and then in about 30 months, we just start designing the second one. Yeah, Lisa Marie's is actually one of those clients. So we're going to be working on the next one coming soon. But there's no real requirement. It's just you want to make sure you're staying up to date on the latest technologies, and how do we implement AI and other things. I would really look at what is your website doing for you, and are there efficiencies that could be improved within your business, not just your website, because we find a lot of improvements, especially if you're using spreadsheets all the time. How do we bring that on the website and make your life just a little bit easier.
Or just like you did with the shipping, I'm sure that's helped a lot.
Yep, absolutely.
And then what social media platform will benefit you the most?
This is my favorite. So, and don't freak out, Marie. So social media platforms, I know we didn't talk about this a whole lot, but this goes back to the personas. Where's Martha? Martha is on Facebook and nowhere else, right? So you don't need to dance on TikTok. I know that's what everyone is suggesting you do, but you don't have to. I know Marie's dying to. Yeah, but be on the right platform. That's like when we talked with Amy Volk's question. I would say LinkedIn is probably the best way to be there. Use it or lose it is how we go with social media. So if you're not going to use it, then just move on. Maybe have a presence and you post a couple things there, here and there, because you want to stay up to date. But for the most part, pick the ones that work for you. I know that's a hard thing, but look to your personas.
Okay, so we just had another one.
I saw Lisa. Yep.
Mike, do you see that?
I do. I imagine you could set up website logins for clients versus customers just visiting. Have you seen this used? So I'm guessing you're talking about like a wholesale versus retail situation. I don't know. Actually, I don't know exactly.
Or maybe
like able to log in.
Yeah, so there's so the benefit to that is obviously you can have client information, and absolutely you can do that. We do that for all kind of, yeah, absolutely. So it's just like having a member portal of some sort. I would say have that in conjunction with your marketing website so that you can still send other information out there and be ranked if that's what you're looking for. But if you're looking just for an internal type of a website, just for your clients, then yes, you can absolutely do that. Many different ways. Awesome.
Okay. Well, thank you all so much for coming today. As I said, we put the survey link in the chat, and that's how we build our programs. It's how we knew we would do this year. Thank you to the sponsors, OSC Web Design and Masthead, Maine. And thank you to Jesse and Marie for your insights. It was really great to hear, the best practices and then what it's like candidly in real life. So please join us Thursday, March 23rd from 8 to 10 a.m. in Portland or on Zoom for how-tos for recruitment and retention. And we'll leave this open a little bit so you can get on the survey link, but just wanted to say thank you so much. We'll be sending a follow-up email that will have the recording, the slides, and it will also have some resources that Jesse recommends. So thank you so much, and thanks guys, and have a great day.
As there's a lot of other businesses here, they're all kind of leaving, but if you need any employee presents or VIP gifts that are all made locally in Maine featuring Made in Maine businesses, we specialize in putting together gift packages and gift baskets, and we ship all over. So happy to help with anybody who might like any of those things.
Yes, and I bought fabulous presents for our finalists before.
Yes, you did. Thank you so much.
So, yeah, that's nice. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks, Deirdre. Cool.
Yeah. So we can stay on if anyone has any questions, anything.
I think that wraps that up.
Yeah.
So
I saved all the attendees